What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JD's Smoke and Q. I'm Julian.
I'm Jake.
And in today's video, we're going to be smoking a prime rib.
Keep on watching to see how this prime rib comes out.
Alright guys, so what we have here is a 5-pound prime rib that we are going to be smoking on our mini pit boss. And first things first is that we're actually going to leave the ribs on for this smoke, only because since all the fire and the smoke does come from the bottom of the pit boss, we don't want it to burn our prime rib or char it up. So we're going to leave those bones on there. And first, we're going to add some avocado oil as our binder. So we're just going to go ahead and put a small amount on here. With our hands, just go ahead and put this olive oil or avocado oil all over it. It's just going to be our binder for our seasoning. And what do we have in our seasoning today?
So we have rosemary, parsley, garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, salt, and pepper.
Yep. So just a little bit of pepper this time. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, refer back to this video up here to see my daughter's reaction to a bite of bark on our dino ribs. Alright, so with our spices, we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of spices up on the top of it. And we're going to coat this evenly all over our prime rib. So we're just going to go ahead and pat it into there. Don't rub it, pat it on in. And then also throughout our smoke, we're going to go ahead and baste our prime rib with butter and rosemary as well. Yeah, boy. And then as a side note, for this smoke, this is actually going to be our first prime rib that we have ever smoked on our pit boss. So we're going to go ahead and see how this turns out. I know that the traditional way, or the way that we've had it, has always been in the oven. So we're excited to see how this one is actually gonna come on out today. And it shouldn't take that long. It should be about 2 to 2.5 hours just to smoke this prime rib. We are shooting for an internal temperature of like 118 before we do our reverse sear. So we will be doing a reverse sear on this guy. And so hopefully when we're done with it, we'll have an internal temperature of about 128 degrees. Alright, and whatever extra that we have, just go ahead and put it in some of our fat. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and put our prime rib onto our pit boss. We do have her at 225, so let's go ahead and open her up. So the ribs are going to be down on over the firebox. So ribs are down. We're going to go ahead and probe it in the fattiest part of our prime rib. And then we are looking for an internal temperature of about 218 degrees before we start our reverse sear. So we'll go ahead and see y'all in a few. Alright guys, so we are at an internal temperature of 60 degrees right now. We're going to see how she's doing so far. And we're also going to be basting her with our rosemary butter. Alright. So as you can see, we do have some nice bark coming on in on our prime rib. Alright, so now with our butter, it's just going to go ahead and baste her up a little bit. Alright, so we just have 3 tablespoons of butter, and then we're just brushing it on with our rosemary. Just making sure we're not rubbing off any of our rub in our seasoning. Baste it on there, front and back. Temperature of 100. We're gonna go ahead and baste her some more. See y'all in a few. All right, guys. So we are at an internal temperature of, it's jumping around between 116 and 118. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna go ahead and take her off. And if you guys could look at that, she is looking pretty good, looking nice and juicy. So what we're gonna do next is gonna be our reverse sear. So once we are done with our reverse sear, we should have an internal temperature of 130 degrees to 135 degrees. And then that's when you know that when your prime rib will be nice and ready. So let's go ahead and take her off. Nice prime rib. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and churn her up all the way up to 500. And then one other thing too with our pit bosses is that we're gonna go ahead and open up this grate so we can go ahead and sear our meats. All right, so here we go with our sear. Just gonna go ahead and put our prime rib over an open flame. Gonna go on the side first. Hear that sizzle. You guys go ahead and see the bottom of our prime rib has gotten pretty crispy as well. That's just from the heat from our pit boss. And since we have our firebox towards the bottom of the pit boss. Go ahead and close her up just for a little bit. Alright guys, so welcome back. After we did sear our prime rib, we did reach an internal temperature of 130 degrees. And as you guys can see, she is looking really good. Got a nice sear on there, so she is nice and barky, nice and toasty. And
it's smoothie.
It smells good?
It's like squish.
Oh, it's squishy? Alright, so let's see how she is. So then we did let her rest for about 20 minutes. So first thing we're going to do is we are going to cut this bone out. Trying to look to see where the bone is at. Bone is out.
It's mushy.
It's going to be the first prime rib that we smoked. Hopefully it turns out really good because it smells really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like hot.
All right.
Oh, that steam.
So it is a nice medium rare.
And it looks so good.
It looks so good.
And you guys see it right there.
Yeah, watch your fingers.
Yeah, I mean, where's our fingers?
Okay, let's go ahead and taste test this.
Yeah.
With the books.
Yeah.
All right, you little comedian. Here you go. It's a piece for you.
Thank
Piece
you.
for you. Piece for me. Cheers.
Cheers.
There's. Oh.
Really good.
Better than the oven.
Yeah, I could say that the smoke flavor of our hickory really did infuse our prime rib. And we are going to go ahead and enjoy this today with some mashed potatoes and with some green beans as well, and some homemade au jus sauce. So hopefully you guys like this video. I know it did take a little bit longer than expected, but go ahead and like, subscribe, and don't forget to do what?
Hit that notification bell.
All right, guys, keep on smoking. We'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.